Pittsburgh's got the hardest schedule this year, but they usually get going when the going's tough. What do you think, Easy?
Run them.
Welcome to the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another edition of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Stella, in studio today with Johnny Parlay and Big Easy. Yes, this is the Friday Night Insight. Yes, we are recording it on Saturday. And yes, I probably will be posting it on Sunday. These are all facts because of Mother Nature.
That's right. I'm snowblind.
She decided to make it freezing cold and snow. We hate it, but it's PA, so what are you going to do?
Blizzard Newton out there. Parlay barely got over here.
It was rough. You had to use the dogs with the dog sled.
Hey,
Busted it out.
hey.
Mush.
Mush, that's it. Mush. A blind dog and a fat dog. It only took me three days to get over here.
You ended up having to pull them, I think. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers' schedule for next season. It's been called the toughest schedule in the league for next year. The Steelers' strength of schedule for 2015 is a .579. The Bengals are the next highest at 563. 11 of the Steelers' games next year are against teams who have finished with a winning record. 9 of those are against playoff teams.
9, dang.
Yeah, I mean,
brutal.
what can you say? But did you know? Do-do-do, or the more you know. That we had that little star that came up. Pittsburgh Steelers were the last team in the NFL to have the toughest schedule and win the Super Bowl that season. Do you know when that was, Easy?
2000 and...
We won it in 05 and 08. Which one of those seasons?
I know.
5.
That'd be my guess also.
Both wrong. It was 2008.
Like I said, I know. Well, yeah, they're tougher, but they probably had a better team.
Yeah, the Panthers were the last team to make the playoffs.
Wouldn't you think that, wouldn't you think the Browns or the Jaguars would have the toughest schedule just because everyone's tough for them?
I mean, I guess.
Or is it not who you're playing, really? It's just...
It goes against your team's win-loss record.
They're doing this by numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's just a crude percentage. And the thing that's weird is, okay, the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, and Ravens are all in the same division. We all play the AFC West. So we have very similar records. So we all have a tough schedule. You know, there might be 1 or 2 games difference on the schedules.
Racking up those frequent flyer
miles. The whole
miles
division has a tough record. Like I said a minute ago, the Bengals have the second toughest record in the league.
Were they playing the AFC West and the NFC West this year?
Yes, they are.
I mean, that's a lot of travel, and everyone knows going across the country ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Ain't no fun. Big Ben threw 6 touchdowns against Indy and then against Baltimore back-to-back. And then he lost to Cleveland.
Right.
So,
well, that's what you get when you win your division and you have a good record. You end up getting matched up against other teams that win their division and have winning records. And if you can't compete against those teams, you don't deserve to make the playoffs, you know? There's nothing stopping Pittsburgh from competing against any one of these teams.
Run me through their home opponents this year.
The only thing that makes me mad about the schedule is we have to go into New England again. Why do we always go to New England? How often do they ever come to Pittsburgh?
Doesn't seem like very frequently.
They're the team, though. New England is the squad, man.
Well, just because you're a good team doesn't mean you get to play every game at home. We all play 8 home games and 8 away games.
Well, so if you can't beat New England at home, then what are you going to do? Well, I don't care. They need to be tested.
How do we...
What better way than to test them than to send the Pittsburgh Steelers there on opening day?
I don't mind that we go there. I mind that it's not an even matchup. If we're going to play as much as we do, it should be 50-50 or at least closer than what it is. They never come here in the regular season.
Take it up with the commish.
Who also, on a side note, made $35 million in the last fiscal year for the NFL.
And I heard that that was honestly a down year for him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He ain't making parlay money, but that's still not too bad for a year's work.
Spread the wealth, Goodell. Follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread.
That's right. Get us to a hundo.
Why that much money? What are you actually doing? What does the commissioner do? That's for another segment.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I don't know if we have enough time in the day for that.
What about our own division? Or I mean, it's gonna be another battle. Those are some of the worst teams ever.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers,
Especially
you're always
now.
playing tough schedule because you got to play that division.
That division's tough. The Browns are a joke. Well, can we agree?
Yeah, the Browns are a joke.
Like, well, we hollered at Cleveland earlier this year, but
Johnny Clean is going to take care of business.
when I think of rehab, I just think of drugs and alcohol. That's all I think of. When someone says they're going to rehab, drugs and alcohol got to be involved.
The home games are Denver,
There's a loss.
Oakland,
There's a win.
Yeah, right.
Arizona,
Loss.
San Fran,
Loss.
Colts.
Win. Nah, I don't. That's not too bad. Raiders. I think. Well,
Those aren't all their home games, by the way, because we played
Right.
one against Baltimore, one against Cleveland, and one against
Yeah.
Cincinnati. But those teams
minus
are
the
to come.
divisionals, but
Correct.
Denver coming to town. Is Peyton going to play? Who knows?
He says he's going to play.
I think
Yeah,
he'll suit up, no
I just
doubt.
seen it on the bottom line.
No
he
doubt.
said he's prepared.
So
That-
that'll be a tough one.
That'll be a really good game, I think. Denver's moved more to a running team with a efficient passing game as opposed to Manning throwing. He still throws for the yards, but it's
They're
not
not a video game team
Exactly.
anymore.
They're
But
actually a
that's
real
just
football
as of the
team.
second half of last season. That might turn.
I don't know.
Get back to
His
normal.
arm's only going to get weaker. The Broncos were the number 2 seed in the AFC last year behind New England. They struggled on the road this year a little bit, trying to find their identity, and their passing game didn't quite come up as big as they wanted it to sometimes. But they're still a really good team. Peyton does have the worst winning percentage for a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the history of the NFL in the playoffs. So that's kind of rough. But he doesn't want to go out like he did. He doesn't want to be looked like a punk, like a guy who can't win in the playoffs. So he's at least going to come back and try one more year. I say they're a top 3 team in the AFC again next year. Probably their last run at it with Peyton.
Yep. And then Oakland. I don't think that should be a problem, but Steelers love playing down to
Yeah, see, I'm more scared of Oakland than Arizona.
Really?
You want to hear an interesting stat?
I guess.
No.
All right,
Let's
listen,
move along.
real quick. No, this has a lot to do with what we're talking about. Chuck Noll, probably the best coach in Pittsburgh Steelers history. We can all say
Heard of
maybe
him.
one of the
Heard
best
of him.
coaches ever in the NFL.
Yeah.
He only lost one game as a Steelers head coach to a sub 500 team at the time they played them.
Yeah, he told me that
He
stat
was
before.
only a
We've
few
said that
games
before.
over 500 in all the other games that he played. The keys to having a successful franchise long term is winning the games you're supposed to win.
Yeah.
And if Tomlin wants to stick around and be as successful as Coach Noll was, he's got to get it right. You got to win those games. It's going to happen. I'm not saying one's not going to slip by here or there, but every time we play a team with less than 500 record, I am legitimately nervous.
Well, did you mention San Diego? Did we play them this year?
Yeah, they're a
It's in one of our away
All right.
games.
Well, your boy,
Phillip Rivers.
P-
your boy Phillip Rivers.
He may need back surgery. They're
Where's
trying
that?
to
No,
put it off.
where do you think? Do you already know where we got to play them at?
That's at San Diego.
So that's a loss
Well, yeah, maybe.
across the country. What do you mean maybe across the country against Philip?
gotta go to San Diego, gotta go to KC. Always tough to play in KC.
Yeah.
No, you know what? You know who signed? You know what's up with KC? You know who they signed?
Terrell Pryor.
T. Pryor.
We're friends on Facebook.
You know what?
Hit us up, Pryor. At
I'll tell you what.
Spread, buddy.
I hope he don't quarterback when we have to go to KC because he's dangerous.
Well, dude, he already ran 90 yards against us when he was Oakland's quarterback.
He's just dangerous. An athlete like that at quarterback is just dangerous. And
Believe that.
unless you can get Shazier or somebody to play their game.
Where else I gotta travel to?
The Raiders have won 4 of the past 5 games against Pittsburgh. So
Good lord.
at home, I'm still scared.
4 of the last 5.
Yeah.
They're probably
Oh
ready
my-
for that. They're already they see that on the schedule and they're like, sweet,
W.
we're playing Pittsburgh this
W
year.
at home. W. No, they have to
We're
come
at home,
here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
pff.
We're going to have to take on Bruce Arians after we forced him to retire in the 2011 season. And I'm pretty sure he's won Coach of the Year like twice since we've shipped him out of Pittsburgh.
Uncle Bruce.
So what?
Yeah, Dash will be hanging out with him. I think he's having dinner with him
Yeah,
the night before the
family
game.
dinner.
Yeah, I don't even
Family
think
dinner.
he's not going to make the spread, the Friday Night Insight that week because
They
he's going to
have
be
a-
with Bruce.
They have a round of 18 planned, and then after that, dinner set.
But the Cardinals got a tough defense, and if they can get Carson Palmer back healthy and he can play well, they got a shot. They had the best record in the league through 10 games, I'm pretty sure, last year. So that's another tough game.
All I remember is Santonio. Is it him? In the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I
James
remember.
Harrison, 100 yards.
I see Arizona, and I just think of Santonio.
Where else I gotta travel to?
So they don't scare me at all.
We got 2 more home games. San Francisco. Harbaugh's out. Some dude I Tomsula. I don't really know how to say his name. It's
Harbaugh's
weird.
out, so they're back.
Quarterback of the 49ers, we don't know your name because you're not significant enough to be mentioned on the spread.
He'll be back. He just played in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Who?
Kaepernick.
He'll be back?
He'll be back. He had a down season, but he'll come back without Harbaugh. They tanked because
Vince
of
Young
Harbaugh.
Vince Young came back too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a true.
Colin Kaepernick is a punk ass Vince Young.
No, he'll
Believe
be back.
that.
He'll
Loving
be back.
it easy.
He'll be back. Johnny Clean will be back.
Well, probably the
Andrew Luck will be back.
Andrew Luck
Andrew
never
Luck
left.
is coming back.
He's
They're
just
coming-
goofy. He's goofy,
coming
but
to
he's a
town
football
again.
player.
Well, they're going to redeem themselves, I think, after that embarrassment.
Hey,
Colts
Andrew
got
Luck,
embarrassed.
forever, Andrew Luck would be a punk ass Peyton Manning.
Well, can I ask you this?
Second-rate Peyton.
I wouldn't even
New
say
England-
second rate, just punk ass.
Well, all he has to do is win one Super Bowl, and he's
then
already
he's
just
as
good.
good.
But New England has beat the Colts to the ground running the football the last 2 or 3 times they've played them in a row.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh throws 6 touchdowns against them to win the game. Le'Veon Bell is going to be suspended for the first 2 games of the year, and we don't know the order that these games are in. We just know whether they're home or away. So depending on where this game falls, we could have a big dose of Le'Veon Bell. So any fantasy listeners right now, if you're picking up Bell, the week that we're playing the Colts, you got to keep him in the lineup. If you don't got him, trade for him. Give up Colin Kaepernick because Easy said he's going to be garbage.
L. Bell.
We like Anquan Bolton though. Is he still there?
Yeah.
If he's still there, that's his only option.
In San Fran.
They got to go to St. Louis this year.
Yeah, we go to Kansas City, San Diego, St. Louis, Seattle, and New England.
That
Brutal,
sounds
dude.
insane.
Oh, man. The Kansas City game's always tough, regardless of whether...
Take a spread road trip.
Yeah, regardless of whether Kansas City is a good team or not, at Kansas City's tough. It's one of the loudest places to play in the league. They always have a pretty good defense, even at home. It's weird. They're one of those weird teams that it's just... You don't want to go into Arrowhead
hard to beat.
on a must-win game because it's tough.
Hard to beat.
They have nobody at quarterback right now. Alex Smith, I don't see it. I never thought he was a good quarterback. He's a slow, mobile quarterback. That's all he is to me. He's not even a fast, mobile quarterback. He's average in everything he does. He doesn't throw the ball downfield. I honestly think, they're probably not going to say it, but you got to think that Pryor has at least an open competition in training camp.
Well, would they go to something crazy? Well, Reed's there. Would they go to something crazy like a Wildcat or just use him? You can use Terrell Pryor, and you would have to be able to use him.
Reed
He's
used
just a
Michael
dangerous
Vick
athlete
and brought Michael Vick back from the dead. So why can't he help Terrell Pryor get
It wouldn't
there?
even be bringing him back from the dead. It would just be.
Well, yeah, with Pryor, you're just helping him rise. But Vick was great and then done and then great again for a little bit.
That's dangerous. I hope he probably will be in the mix when we have to go.
As far as athletic ability, he's bigger, stronger, and faster than Smith. So if he can catch up with the mental part of the game, that's all that really he needs to do, and he can take the job. It's not like Smith has a huge deal.
He'll probably end up starting one game. Over under on Terrell Pryor starts 1.
Over. I'm going over.
I say push.
I just don't think Alex Smith is a good quarterback.
He's just boring, man.
We'll see what happens in the first 4 games.
Truth.
And obviously injuries, because you never know what could happen. Well, they roll into San Diego, one of the best cities to go to as far as weather goes. Everybody loves sunshine. But nobody loves the Chargers. And I especially hate you, Phillip Rivers. You're always jacking it in San Diego. I don't know what the hell you're doing out there. You're whining that your back hurts. You got that stupid look on your face, you smug bastard, all the time. I don't know if I hate you more than Kaepernick or Wilson, because every time I start talking about one of you guys, I just get annoyed.
I think our listenership in San Diego just skyrocketed.
Maybe.
All that love for the Chargers.
Maybe. The only thing good about San Diego is Ron Burgundy.
Truth. Get to watch him on the news when you get out there.
The Steelers are going to want payback after the Chargers upset them in 2012 at Heinz Field. Triggered a 3-game losing streak that ended Pittsburgh's playoff hopes. I hate the Chargers. They beat us in '94. I don't know if you guys remember this for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Junior Seau wreaked havoc all over us.
A young parlay was very upset.
I bet. You were probably crying, and then your dad made you eat pine cones again.
I don't know if the pine is not that season.
Pre-pine cone era.
It might have been pre-pine cone.
You just got beat with the branch off this tree.
How dare you?
I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. No teams travel well when it's all the way across the field.
Let me tell you about.
Or all the way across the
Let me tell you
country.
about San Diego. They got dangerous weapons, and they're always competing.
Yeah.
So we have to go the whole way out there. That's a loss.
It's all up to Phil Rivers, man. If he gets the job done and their defense can play even half-assed, they got a shot.
Well, I'm a big fan of the next team up. They carried me through my picks of the week this year, and they just keep improving, I think. The Rams, baby. They got to go to St. Louis.
They got no quarterback, the poor Rams, though. That's the only
Bradford
thing.
will be back, yo.
Bradford's blew his knee out 18 different times so far in his career.
He's bionic.
He's probably going to be cut because he has a $17.5 million cap hit or something around there.
Bionic Bradford, they call him down there.
Well, I understand he's bionic, my friend, but he's costing him millions of dollars. So if he doesn't restructure, he's going to be bionic on the unemployment line.
I'm already calling pick of the week in that game. Pick of the week, Rams over the Steelers outright.
Now, see, that's one that the Steelers will probably just straight smoke.
Not a
They're
chance. Sammy B, baby. And then they got to go to Seattle, the corner of the earth, defending Super Bowl should-be champs.
I'm
I'm
going to love
telling you,
this
in
game.
the dome, just one thing about one last thing about the Rams. In the dome, Le'Veon,
All day.
Brown,
Brown.
jeez, dude.
We're getting Larry Fitzgerald in the
200
offseason.
yards. Listen,
We're gonna
200 yards,
sign Darrelle
Le'Veon,
Revis.
200 yards.
But I liked when they used to show the video of Bill Cowher breaking Fisher's leg every time we
Yeah.
played him. That was fun.
I'm sure that'll come up. I love the stash, too.
What about the Seahawks?
They may be in the Super Bowl again next year, depending on how Lynch's plays out.
Pittsburgh is 1-6 in Seattle, so it's going to be even harder.
And they haven't even been there for years.
They got that loud-ass field, that
That architectural,
nightmare.
yeah, it just, I don't know. I don't think they can go up there and win, but I mean, this is all hypothetical. We don't even know who's going to be playing these games. Russell Wilson may be out.
Yeah.
Big Ben may be out.
Right.
But just the way it looks, you hate to go into Seattle. Any team.
Yeah. I mean, if this game's at the end of the year and our playoff hopes are resting on this, yikes.
Don't even bother.
Yeah.
Save the jet fuel. And then the favorite place to go,
Oh, here
New
it is.
England.
The
So you got to go to
Wait.
Seattle. You got to go to New England. Just
Every time I think of the New England Patriots, for some reason, I think of the little kid on Big Daddy when they ask him who he's rooting for, and he just says, the goddamn Jets. The goddamn Patriots. I hate them. I hate Brady. I hate Belichick. They cheat, they win, they cheat. They just keep cheating to win. They keep winning to cheat. Goodell keeps giving Kraft handies under the table. I don't know what the hell Belichick's doing. They might have a little glory hole going on in one of the bathrooms over there. It's a cesspool. Gronk, he's just Gronk slamming people all over the place, carrying 2 strippers, 1 in each arm. I don't know. Hernandez murders people. Blunt's getting off the charges while Bell gets suspended for 2 games.
they're just
What the hell, man?
They're not easy to like. I'll tell you that
Uncool,
much.
dude. It's
They
uncool.
have one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history.
And they beat us 55-31 last year. Not cool. 8-3 in the past 11 games.
2 years
Not
ago.
cool.
2 years ago, I mean.
Well, that's just another fun game to watch, I'm sure.
We're going to touch on the division games just real quick here for you, Parlay, because I know how much you love division games because the line's always right around even to 3.
Yeah.
We play Cleveland
Over and under
home and home,
33.
obviously. We split the series last year. Pittsburgh won at home 30-27, but they lost 31-10 at Cleveland. They eked out the victory at home. They got up big early, almost blew it. They just got completely blown out at Cleveland. Nobody knows who's going to be a quarterback. The coaches are in disarray. Shanahan won it out. The defense lost a few players. At worst, I think it'll be a split. I mean, does anybody see it being 0-2 against Cleveland?
If it is, you better get rid of all your Pittsburgh paraphernalia.
It's not even a split. They were like all gung-ho last year. It's different.
Right.
No,
I don't think
they're out
Hoyer
of
will
it.
be back. I think they're going to want Manziel to take the reins.
Well,
It's going to be bad for them.
Sweeping the Browns this year.
All right.
Better.
Well, Baltimore, we played them 3 times last year. First game we lost at Baltimore 26-6. They handled us pretty easily. We didn't do anything. I think me and Easy watched that game together. It was
Yep.
pretty pathetic. Pittsburgh came back and won 43-23 at home. Big Ben, 6 touchdowns. That was when he went back-to-back with 6 touchdowns against the Colts and the Ravens. That was a huge game for Pittsburgh. We built up a lot of momentum to make a run at the end of the season to win that division. It gave them hope that they can beat a team that they need to beat. We hate the Ravens. Anytime you beat them, you get pretty jacked up. Unfortunately, the Ravens beat us in the playoffs 30-17 at home. It was the first time Baltimore had beat Pittsburgh at home in the playoffs.
Brutal.
Kudos to you, Baltimore. You played a game. You won. You beat us. I mean, we were pathetic. Todd Haley's offense was garbage. He kept trying to give it to some Obi-Wan jabroni named Josh Harris and some bum off the street who was giving handies to trannies like the week before over in Cleveland. I mean, it was just pathetic and disgusting at the same time. The only
Hashtag handies to trannies.
That's it. The only glimmer of hope we had was when we played Cincinnati. We beat them twice, 42-21 at Cincinnati. Then we beat them 27-17 in a division-deciding game at Heinz Field in Week 17. It was a big game. Pittsburgh locked up.
Real quick, Baltimore, I say we sweep them.
So 4-0 in a division so far.
4-0 in a division so far. We're sweeping them.
All right. So
Well, you didn't hear my prediction.
Easy's got us going 4-0. I'll give them 3-1 in the division at this point with Cleveland and Baltimore. I think we got a shot at sweeping Cleveland.
Whatever, 4-0.
All right. Cincinnati, like I said, we won that game 27-17, decided the division between the two of us. We went 11-5, lost that playoff game to Baltimore, so it's not like it meant a whole lot, although it is nice to get a division win, our first since, I think, 2010. Andy Dalton's a punk. He's getting worse as his career goes on.
Garbage.
Who's he giving handies to?
He's probably giving handies to Marvin Lewis. Isn't that their coach? That's the only reason they're both still there. And then they're giving handies to the owner. They're giving them double handies, maybe a shocker or two in there.
Put the goggles on in this.
Yeah, it's getting rough.
There's another split, I think. Since he 1-1.
It could be a split, yeah. 5-1 or 4-2. I'm hoping at worst against division opponents. The Steelers have all the room to improve this year. They got cap room, a lot more than they have in any recent season. Their drafts are getting a little bit better lately. Their last year's draft, I think, is going to turn out to be a better class than what people think. They were still young. The jury's still out on, or the verdict's still out on Jarvis Jones. We'll see about him. But we have all the potential to be there if they can make the right moves and put the pieces. The offense is ready to go. All you really need is a little bit of depth at O-line and a tight end, and you're ready to roll on offense. So let's get this done. Let's get in these games. You go 11-5 or 12-4. That's going to steal up the division, I think.
Well, last segment I said it's 16-0.
16-0.
You heard
I'd like
me.
to see it.
I'm down with it. When they go undefeated, I'm the one that called it.
Well, the only thing undefeated around here is you and your college picks. So let's talk about some of this college sports since you are our senior college analyst.
Some
My-
basketball.
My sources inside Pitt locker room fed me the news today that what a great game Pitt destroyed, just straight handled North Carolina. It's a tough ACC this year.
Oh, I think
got-
they're going to the tournament.
Pitt, you think
Nah.
you're going to make it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll
They'll be there.
What? They only have two good wins.
Uh,
Notre Dame and now North Carolina. It's only two wins. They're 6-6 in
beat
the ACC.
Syracuse.
Syracuse is out of the question. Syracuse has a self-imposed ban on themselves anyway.
Still
You're
counts.
Is
Nothing
Boeheim
counts.
still the
They
coach up there?
They already beat Syracuse. They played them and beat them
That's
already.
a win. That's a good win, though, for your resume. Tournament resume.
No,
They'll
it's
be
not
there.
because Syracuse is. They're not going to be there. They banned themselves from the tournament.
Not
this year.
Syracuse. Pitt. Pitt will be
In the
and
tournament.
No doubt. That's a
No.
parlay lock.
No
doubt.
Listen,
parlay
they play Virginia Monday night. You know, Virginia is the number 2 ranked team in the country.
They'll play them tight.
They need to play them tight because if they don't win that game, if they win that game, I'll say they're in the tournament. They lose to Virginia, they'd have to win out and like hope to get in. It's
Well,
questionable, man.
I'm just saying, get your pencils ready for your brackets and fill out Pitt through one round, and then don't ever write Pitt again because that's a Pitt tournament.
March Madness is upon us.
But you
and
will be able to write it once.
The only thing good about March Madness is Parlay's tournament brackets that I almost somehow win every year. I'm better at those, and I know nothing about college basketball
that's what I'm
than I am
saying.
at fantasy football.
That's why it's
or
so
suicide
fun.
polls or gambling or anything. I'm terrible at all that other stuff.
People have no idea, and they fill out a bracket. That's what makes it
Oh,
fun.
I win.
You know, but
It's the
Almost.
good stuff.
I think I finished in third the first year I ever did it.
It's
it
good
doesn't
stuff.
It doesn't matter about the bracket. It matters about making it to the bracket. And Pitt is on the bubble hard. They have a tough game coming up. They need to get it done. I mean, they blew out Carolina. It wasn't a squeak by win. They blew
Well, what
them out.
happened? Did Carolina lose the
home.
game, or did Pitt actually play well?
Pitt blew them out.
Pitt took
They
their
shot
business.
they shot about like 67% from the field. They were I think they were something like 20 for 30 from the court in the second half. Like, just unbelievable.
Dominating.
Whoa.
They would have beat anybody
That
with
was
those stats. I mean, it was great. They looked great. It was a step towards making the tournament, but I wouldn't call them a lock.
They're a lock, a parlay lock.
Yeah.
What's North Carolina doing this year?
It depends. They were ranked 12.
All right.
It depends what they do against Virginia. But then you got the other solid teams. You have Duke there. You got North Carolina's there, obviously. They still have to play each other 2 times. ACC's getting tough. Notre Dame's a lock. Virginia's a lock. Duke, North Carolina's a lock. That's 4 already. I mean, then you still got these teams battling, and it's going to be tough.
From what I hear, Pitt has to, and I mean, not necessarily has to do this, but really to make it, they got to be able to win the rest of their home games and steal at least 2 or 3 victories on the road.
Well, yeah. They can't. If they lose more than 2 games to finish the season, they're definitely not getting in.
Parlay's calling it. I can't say it enough.
Tough sledding.
I guarantee it. They will be on your brackets.
Guarantees
All right,
it.
so hit us up on Twitter at bet_spread and let Johnny Parlay know what he has to do if they don't make the NCAA tournament.
Bring it, because I'm fully confident.
You're going to have to eat the worst food you hate. What is it? What do you hate?
Chickpeas. Plain chickpeas.
What about
What?
Chickpeas.
All right, so
Fresh
we're
ones
going
or
to bathe you.
Garbanzo
Listen,
beans.
if Pitt don't make the tournament, we're going to bathe you in
I'm going to get a
chickpeas.
number 10 can from my
You're
former
gonna have to
restaurant.
swallow 'em.
Bring
You're
it.
have to eat the whole can.
Bring it.
We're going to make
the
like
juice.
13 pounds
All right.
of peas.
And
You're going to
Parlay
bathe in them.
Parlay will come up with something
Parlay thinks
for
he's
y'all
gonna
to
prove
do.
it.
Yeah, do something. Come up
All
with
right.
something
Do
for us
something.
to do.
I love this monkey.
All right. I will.
That's it. That wraps up college segment. If you need to get at me, hit me up on Twitter.
It's a wrap. I got to get my plow out.
Well, I want to thank you guys for taking your time to hang out with me in studio. Parlay, risking your life trying to get here. I know you were probably sliding around in circles. All the other whack jobs on the road almost running into you.
Should have got a big truck.
Fans,
4-wheel drive.
thanks for listening. You guys can follow us at bet_the_spread. You can like us on Facebook, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Hit us up on YouTube. Throw us some comments, man. You hate, we debate.
Spread 'em.